Okay, students, so my video cut out right before I ended. I ran out of storage, so I had to go and delete a bunch of stuff. But this is how it should have looked. All right, and that's how I teach rotations, is to physically rotate your piece of paper. However, you can see that there is rules. All right, look at these rules right here, like X, Y. If you go 90 degrees clockwise, X, Y goes to Y negative X. What if you go counterclockwise? Well, then it goes to negative YX. Well, look at all this, all right? Overall, I think this is kind of confusing, and you can get in mass confusion really quick. Like the X and Y's are changing, but one becomes negative, one's not. This one, they both are, and they're staying the same. What the heck? And you can look up the numbers up here. Okay, it can be complete chaos. Some students do like to memorize the rules. However, most students just like to do the rotations themselves, right? Memorizing the rules can be messy, but they do work. I like to just do them. All right, so now we're gonna practice writing rules for rotation. All right, so remember, there's three things you need. You need direction. And this is either gonna be clockwise, which we call CW, or counterclockwise, which we call CCW. All right, next you need degrees. And the main ones I do is 90 and 180. Why? Technically, we never need to do a 270 because that's just 90 in the opposite direction. All right, and then 3 is, this is just generic. It's always going to be around origin, or sometimes we say 0, 0. These are the same things. All right, so first off, notice how G prime. All right, that means I start at G, I'm ending at G prime. Now, some of you guys can probably tell by just looking at it. Notice how, like, we're in quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, G goes from 4 all the way to 2. In fact, kind of drawing it like this shows me that this is 180 degrees rotation. All right, so when it's 180, direction actually doesn't matter. I can go 180 clockwise or counterclockwise. I would still end at the same spot. So I say clockwise or counterclockwise, 180 degrees around origin, or I could say 0, 0. All right. Now, notice how in this one right here, notice how, let's just focus on F. We could focus on any of the points, but let's focus on F because that's the one I was looking at. Notice how F just moves over one quadrant. All right, so I'm going 90 degrees counterclockwise around 0, 0. Okay? In this one right here, again, we can focus on any point. This might come to you just super quick. L is going from quadrant 4 to quadrant 2, quadrant 4 to quadrant 2. So I can say clockwise. When I have the pick, I always like to pick clockwise because it's one last letter. And let's say around origin. And then one last one is A to A prime. This is 90 degrees. I'm going clockwise around 0, 0. Okay, so that was just writing the rules for rotations. Identify them and figure out exactly what's going on. All right, using the figure on the right, we're going to state the image of each transformation. All right, I like this stuff right here. Why? Let's do some problems. All right, a 45-degree clockwise rotation of segment AB around Q. So segment AB, we're gonna go around Q, 45 degrees. Again, a bunch of ways to think about this. What I like to emphasize is look at this. This angle right here is 90 degrees. That means that this pink angle is going to be 45 degrees. So I like to draw that out. Why? Because I can see A rotated 45 degrees is going to end up at B, and B rotated 45 degrees is going to end up at C. All right. Now notice how B or A goes to B and B went to C. That means the answer is BC. That's good. What's bad is to say CB. Why is that bad? A does not go to C. A does not map to C. A maps to B. B does not map to itself. B maps to C. All right, so order matters on these problems. Next one is DL. We're going to be talking about DL. All right, we're going to go 270 degrees clockwise. So remember, clock, that's too far. All right, I'm going to change this 90 degrees clockwise. All right, that's going to help me out. So remember, we can say, well, this angle right here is 90 degrees. So if I go 90 degrees this way, D is going to end up at B, L is going to end up at J. So the answer would be BJ. Okay. Now let's cruise right along. GQ is this right here. All right. 90 degrees counterclockwise. Something I think I said counterclockwise up there. All right, I wrote CW, I did counterclockwise, but nonetheless. 90 degrees counterclockwise, again, is going to go this way. All right. Now Q, we're rotating Q around itself. So G is going to go all the way to E, and Q stays right there. All right, and then last one, we're doing a triangle. Oops. This triangle right here, NQO. All right, 180 degrees clockwise rotation. All right, so that means N is going to end up at J. O is going to end up at K, and Q stays on itself. All right, so it'd be this triangle right here, and then we have to be careful because N maps to J, Q maps to itself, and then O mapped to K. So it would be that. Okay? Stay tuned and we'll talk about rotational symmetry.